Breaking the Surface, a First Chapter Friday Reload video with the Word Nerd, who is also the author. Summer is a great time to be reading books about the ocean. This month, I'll be reading 4 of them: The Last Map Maker, Deep Blue, The Neptune Project, and my very own Breaking the Surface. Come back each week for another oceanic adventure. Today, as you listen, watch for the story quote that will appear on screen. Write it down, word by word, and then follow the instructions given to you by your teacher. Hi, my name is Amanda Zieba. Welcome to my channel, Learning with the Word Nerd, and another First Chapter Friday video. Today, I am super excited because I'm going to do something that I have never done before on my channel. For the first time in over 1.5 years of creating weekly First Chapter Friday videos, I'm going to read to you from my very own book, Breaking the Surface. It's the first in a series of 2, and the way I describe it is High School Musical meets Finding Nemo if those stories happened during a global warming crisis and there was no singing. Nothing against singing. I love singing. There's just none of it in this book. This book was inspired by a trip to the IMAX movie theater, you know, those big dome theaters that totally surround you. It was all about the ocean. It's called Deep Sea. It was narrated by Johnny Depp and Kate Winslet, 2 perfect oceanic narrators. And in it, I learned that there's more undiscovered territory in our ocean than in the Milky Way. We know more about outer space and our galaxy than we do about the oceans on our own planet. That to me was fascinating, and I got all these questions whirring in my brain about the kinds of stories that I could create and tell in this place that's on our planet, but that people don't super know about. All those questions eventually led to this story. Another interesting fact, I originally wrote this book in 2013 and published it, but recently I've been feeling like it needed a little bit of a glow up. So I redesigned the cover, I polished the insides up, and now recently re-released it in this beautiful new form. We've been talking a lot this summer about books with different covers and different titles. The title's the same, but the old cover looked like this. If you want to learn all about how I redesigned that book cover, you can check out this blog post right here where I talk all about it. You can also learn more about me and my writing on my website, which I will put in the description box below. I'm also going to put down there some resources for looking at different book covers. Which one is more appealing? Which one reaches its target audience better? Which ones do you prefer? Not only for my book, but for some of the other books we've been reading on this channel. Now, I'm going to read you the back, and then we'll do chapter 1. When Flynn gets the chance to leave her home on the ocean floor to spend some time on the surface, she has a long list of things to do. Things like make friends, eat a cheeseburger, go to the beach, shop, go on a date, and get her driver's license. She didn't really expect reverse a science experiment gone wrong or save her family from impending doom to show up on the list. But now that they have, what will she do? Breaking the Surface by Amanda Zieba, Chapter 1. Actually, I lied. We're going to do a prologue first. 11 years ago. Surface. Bay City, Florida, Associated Press. On Tuesday morning, Mayor Robert Christian, university scientists, and worldwide environmental supporters gathered at the Bay City University Library to celebrate the launching of a historic scientific endeavor. The Animal Regeneration Kingdom, also known as the Ark, will be open for business later this week when 11 scientists and their families take up residence. These highly specialized individuals will relocate their lives for an undetermined amount of time to dedicate their lives to the cause of science and humanity. World-renowned Professor Solomon Sorensen is putting his mastermind, as well as his well-supplied bank account, and award-winning university science department behind this groundbreaking project. Our goal is to formulate and test a liquid amalgam that will literally eat polluting particles in the water surrounding the coral reef. This will allow sea life to regain their hold and flourish in the area. We know it is an ambitious goal, but we've got a great team on board. Leading the dynamic group is Dr. Arthur Brinestone. I've done some pretty cool things in my scientific career, but nothing like this. This unique experience is a dream of a lifetime for those of us involved in the pollution study. We hope to make a big impact on water pollution reversal for both animals and humans. The group will be under the constant surveillance of the surface station operated by the university scientists under Sorensen's watchful eye. The world is waiting in pleasant anticipation for the greatness that is sure to come from this high-profile project. Quick side note, when I wrote this book several years ago, this was not really a thing, but since then, we have discovered enzymes and little bacteria in the ocean that actually do eat plastic. So even though it was fiction when I originally wrote it, it's true today. How cool. Present day, Chapter 1, Ark. Flynn knew she was awake, but she didn't open her eyes. She was attempting to savor the final moments of her dream. Maybe if she snuggled way down deep into her covers, she could still feel the heat of the sun kissing her pale skin with a million little rays of happiness, and warming her dark hair that stretched down to touch her shoulder blades. But no, she wasn't dreaming. She was awake, and she wasn't standing in the sunshine. She was stuck at the bottom of the ocean. Even as the faint memory of her dream faded, a smile stretched across her lips. She had been waiting for this morning for a very long time. The appeal of spending another second in bed suddenly left her. SPF 75? Check. Sunglasses? Check. Flip-flops? Check. Lip gloss? Check. She flung back the covers. Goodbye goggles, goodbye wetsuits, goodbye seafood, goodbye brothers. She slid her perfectly self-pedicured toes into fuzzy pink slippers and plugged her earbuds in place. Hello sunshine, hello birds, hello wind, hello cheeseburgers, hello dating. She danced around her room and packed her belongings into a dust-covered suitcase. 11 years. 11 years I have waited, almost like I've been dropped and forgotten at the bottom of a black hole in the ocean. Oh wait, I have. And now, all these years later, freedom has finally come for me. Freedom at last. As she danced and packed, a makeup bag just barely able to zip, her 12 most recent magazines, a Jacques Cousteau biography, and her favorite purple glitter nail polish, her smile grew, remembering the day her crazy, wonderful journey officially began. It was 6 months ago. Flynn's parents, Arthur and Bermuda Brindstone, were scientists hired by Professor Solomon Sorensen to study the ocean. Well, study the ocean is a bit of an understatement, barked Flynn's silent commentary. Yes, study the ocean wasn't their job, but they had to do it from the ocean floor, inside a bubbled community called the Animal Regeneration Kingdom, aka the Ark. Mr. Sorensen, made wealthy from the shipping industry, built them a home at the bottom of the ocean. Yes, the Solomon Sorensen who patented the unsinkable ship paint that had quite profound success. Crashes such as the Titanic no longer haunt you in your sleep. Just paint it on and your worries are gone. Or so the commercial said. Preposterous, really, that a layer of paint could protect your boat, cargo, and life all in one, but there it was, copyrighted and backed by the U.S. government and making millions. Ever wonder what that SS in front of ship titles meant? Solomon Sorensen, SS. Really, I'm not kidding. But we digress. Solomon Sorensen built Flynn's parents a home at the bottom of the ocean. And what a home it was. Labs and observation windows, sea gardens and dining halls, luxurious water beds, electric eel-lit chandeliers, and technology that would make both Bill Gates and Elon Musk jealous. The Ark was quite amazing. Amazing in every sense of the word. Flynn and her family weren't the only ones who lived there. They were accompanied by 16 others. The selection process for the inhabitants of the Ark was a long and arduous process, but in the end, 6 families and 1 widowed woman were chosen to inhabit the Ark. They were chosen to live, work, study, and survive in an enclosed underwater environment. 2 of the chosen were Flynn's brothers, whom she was also desperately and silently in the moment, though not always so silently, desiring a vacation from. A vacation from 2 normal brothers would be nice, but a vacation from one know-it-all science brainiac older brother and a pain-in-the-butt little brother who thinks he's so special because he was the first person to be born in the Ark. Flynn was practically, in teenage terms, dying for a vacation from them. So, desperately longing for the social normalness of teenage life, Flynn unknowingly entered dinner when a single conversation changed her life. "Flynn, darling, we know you're feeling a little, well, confined," her mother began. Flynn's internal monologue rolled, "Duh," followed by a not-so-internal eye roll. A single look from her father stopped her mid-roll. "I'm listening," said Flynn, in her best masked manners voice, to which her brothers Caspian and Noah rolled their own eyes, which in turn was caught by Mr. Brindstone, who executed one of his own. "As I was saying," Mrs. Brindstone cut in before her family had entirely lost their eyeballs to the backs of their heads. We have noticed that you've been a bit restless lately, and we wanted you to know of a certain opportunity that has arisen." At these words, Flynn's full attention was focused on her mother and the words coming out of her mouth. Flynn stared right past the seaweed salad stuck in her mother's teeth and put all of her energy into comprehending the message she was about to deliver. "An opportunity," she continued, "to exchange places with a student from the surface school for the school year." With these most recent words, Flynn's jaw flew open as if on hinges. Caspian and Noah also stared, unable to fully believe what their mother was saying. Finally, she finished, "We were wondering if you would be at all interested in Interested? Interested?" Flynn squealed, almost hysterically, jumping from her seat. "Interested?" Mr. Bryanstone exasperatedly dropped his soup spoon with a loud clank into the bowl, splattering clam chowder across the other members of the table. Flynn, who would have normally been repulsed by being covered in clam chowder, any kind of chowder really, simply swiped away from her eyes, pushed her chowder-covered hair off her face, got up from the table, and kneeled on the floor next to her mother's chair. She stared up at her mother's near mirror-image face, her green eyes pooling with the tears of extreme emotion. "Really, Mom? You're not just toying with my adolescent emotions. You are really thinking of letting me go to the surface school for 9 whole months?" No one at the table breathed until Mr. and Mrs. Bryanstone uttered a soft but resolute yes. And with Flynn's exhale came a smile that had been gone for a long time. But now that it was back, it had enough power to lit the arc for a whole week. This is a smile she had now as she danced around her room, thinking of the adventure she was about to have at the surface school. Free from her calculated way of life, free from constant supervision, free to make her own choices, free from her brothers, and free to rediscover a great place that she had dearly missed, a place that she still considered home, a place called land. There's a reason people use the term homeland, she thought, as she tossed a 5th pair of shoes into her bag. The mall's boys and friends won't be so bad either. If you want to find out what happens to Flynn when she gets to the surface and what happens to her family down there in the Ark when she is gone, you should totally pick up a copy of Breaking the Surface. You can get it from Amazon. You can get it on my website. I don't know that your library has it yet, but you could ask them to get it. And I hope that when you do have it, you enjoy reading it. Thanks so much for joining me here for another First Chapter Friday video. I hope to see you again next time. Happy reading! This week's mystery quote says, "What you do in life matters far less than who you share it with." Check out the description box for links to additional resources, including the book cover redesign blog post, the cover comparison activity, nonfiction articles about pollution-eating enzymes, and finally links for purchasing books and the deep-sea documentary that inspired this great story. As always, there are tons of other great videos on my First Chapter Friday playlist and throughout my channel. And one last reminder to check out these oceanic reads, perfect books for summer. Thanks for stopping by. I hope to see you again here for more First Chapter Friday videos.